Last week, on our way to Madagascar and beyond, we stopped at the amazing Kosi Bay. We dropped into one of the wonders of our country, being the hole in the wall. We paid our respects to the gods and took our chances. Obviously, do not try this at home. We then danced and danced until we had done our dance and went to sleep.
You know, there are some traffic cops that do it for the love of it and they make a contribution and they keep our roads safe. Then there are other traffic cops who just wanted to be a Nazi in a previous life but couldn't pull it off. This is a story about one of those traffic cops. We are driving along in the speed limit and we get pulled over at a roadblock. Now, this car does attract a lot of attention and one could think, okay, it's not roadworthy or there's something wrong with it, but there isn't. So this guy now, in a manner reminiscent of the SS, Rudolf Hess, and any of his Chinas, switch on your lights, the lights work. Switch on your brakes, the brakes work. Everything works on the car. This irks the man, clearly. Nothing is wrong. Everybody has driver's licenses. And then it hits upon him. Your number plate. Yes, what about it? It's too small. What? What are you talking about? Your number plate is too small. That is impossible. We bought this at a place that sells number plates. Well, your number plate is too small. It's not according to the SABS standard. So then we figured, what can you do with this guy? There's nothing you can do. This guy wants a fault. Sorry, our number plate is small. Yes. Then fine us, please. Oh, you want me to fine you? Yes, please. And that fine was worth just the satisfaction that we got fined, I suppose.
The weather was lousy and our mood again not up, as the call we were waiting for was not coming to say we could move on across the ocean to Madagascar.
You're gonna swim on a deserted beach like this? Someone's gotta look after the kids' clothing.
We kept ourselves busy by doing what we could. Kesrin keeping guard and Viv and I trying to do what we felt would help. Our quandary was this big trip on or not. And now I really felt like smoking as the angst was getting to me and we were stuck.
I could take your life, discovering, falling for your smile. Would you fly?
I want to know, what were we doing on the beach in the first place?
We were there illegally,
No, yeah.
so we had to get off it as quickly as possible, really.
Let's get off this beach, because I'm too pretty for prison.
So I
About 35 years and 2 meters separate these cars. Each of them examples of fine engineering in their day, the smart car and the not so smart but the very cool car. Now sure, this car uses less space and less petrol than this car, but can you sleep in it when you're in a foreign country and you're too late to book into a hotel? That is the question.
I again take my hat off to this chili pepper that simply keeps going, no matter where or what. She has been into Africa, as we call it, even though we are part of it. But let's just say out of South Africa many times, and we wanted to take her again. And I harp on this because that's what I want, and that's what this lovely car wants.
would you fly with me where the oceans meet the sky? Would you love me till the sands of life run dry.
Okay. So what's happening here now?
So
That Sangoma, I looked into her eyes, and my granny's been dead for quite a few years now, and she had the same eyes, those soft, sweet, understanding eyes that you can only get with age. You know, you can't get that kind of knowing from just going and throwing a few bones. It's that I understand you, I understand where you're at. It's almost like she read me, and I know people are very skeptical about that kind of thing, but I'm very open to it, so I got a lot more from that. And it was scary, the types of things she said about my parents, which no one knows. Well, as regards to my life, it's things that I know that things are going very slowly, but I do know that there's that wall that that obstacle that needs to be overcome before things can go well for me. I know that I'm sort of like in an ocean without any wind to blow my sails. I know that, and this isn't the first psychic or seer or fortune teller, whatever you want to call it, that I've been to, and that's always been the constant. So I'm a great believer in things like this.
What he did not mention is that he was given a potion to try and get a girlfriend. I had hidden myself while they drifted into the village of St. Lucia to find out what happens behind walls and trees. This was for Kezran a great day of understanding and healing, and Viv, in her strange way, found something as well. What it was, only she will know.
I am not a religious person at all, not even in the slightest spiritual, anything kind of sense. But as I was sitting with those people outside St. Lucia, which to them was a church service on a Sunday, it occurred to me that everybody's looking for the same thing in some way. Whether you're a philosopher or a theologian, arguing whether there's a fundamental interconnectedness of life and the universe, or whether you're a scientist debating cause and effect rules, or whether you're just a person going to church to sing and dance on a Sunday and have fun. We're all looking for the same thing, a sense of understanding, a sense of belonging, and a sense that it's worth it to show up for life for another week. I enjoyed being with those people because they enjoyed it so much. The fact that it was spiritual or religious didn't mean anything to me, but the fact that they got something from it, and that the fact that they were smiling and they were dancing and they were enjoying it, and it had a sense of purpose to them, that made it enjoyable.
And maybe deep down, I also wanted something. And after 10 weeks, it was a bigger journey and to move out of South Africa for a while. But for now, this was good.
We're Chayamoya, just outside Pongola, about 10 k's outside Pongola. And the Swazi border is about 15 kilometers that way. In fact, I think if we get a little bit higher up, we can actually see where the Swazi border is. Through those trees, yes. And I'm hating the fact that it's this close. I actually wish that no one had told me that Swaziland was this close, because I've never been to Swaziland, and it's a couple hours drive. We drive to Johannesburg all the time, and that's 600 kilometers. And what is there to see? It's just the same old stuff, high-rise buildings, gridlock, and all of that. So I'm embarrassed to say I've never been to Swaziland, and I'm seriously contemplating in my head here, New Year's Eve, either Swaziland or Mozambique, another country that I thought was almost up in near the Middle East. That's exactly where I thought Mozambique was, like so far away. Once again, it's just down the road. For the rest of the day, we're going to go jump on a boat, and head off to a little island, and we're going to be sleeping on the lake tonight under the stars.
We had been invited to this amazing spot called Chayamoya, which means hit by the wind. They also have an amazing lodge, but our crew lost the tape with the images on, and we cannot show it to you. We do have shots of this boat that you can move out onto Lake Jozini in, which is the best and closest to Africa you can find while still in South Africa. Our own Kariba. If we have to compare, and apologies to the lodge, as it is awesome, and we will be back.
Welcome to Shayamanzi.
Thank you very much for having us, sir.
My play here.
This is a houseboat is really the correct term for this because it's actually like a house, a proper house with a lounge and a dining room and a bar and individual rooms downstairs. It looks exactly like the places we stay at, like chalets and things. I don't know how we're going to feel about it all tonight. I don't know whether I'm going to get my sea legs, or lake legs rather.
Always seems to be running towards the truth, towards the light, towards a better time. Well, I gotta tell you,
I am not feeling seasick at all. This place is a floating 5-star luxurious experience. It's gorgeous. Jacuzzi. Oh, that's ridiculous. That's outrageous. We've never had a jacuzzi in our rooms before. We've never had a jacuzzi in our rooms before.
Hey, jacuzzi time! Woo! Splash!
wraps me up, keeps me warm, makes me
This is really soapy. You guys are finished with your dishes. You should just pass them to me. I'll wash it here.
like eyes got you.
We were now so close to the dream and only going through the motions in a really incredible place. We chilled, tried not to speak, and all deep down prayed that it would all fit together.
At the end of the day, when you reduce all the philosophy down to its most simplest, life is about how good the drinks taste. If you're at a stage, the drinks taste better, you've done it.
Some of us had stopped drinking. 2 of us had stopped smoking, but none of us wanting to stop dreaming, and especially not living. We all loved life, as we hope you do, and we wanted to live as much as possible, and then Africa arrived in all its rawness and splendor. All along the banks of this lake, you will find wildlife, sunsets, and everything that epitomizes where we are and where we live.
Take control.
For losing the tape, just go to our site and get hold of these people, as it is one of the great spots we have, and I had never heard of it before. Just go there. The evening arrived, and the silence arrived with it. The death of the diesel is a great relief to Homo ignoramus X, and I think all the other homos here. Now, honestly, I went out the front of the boat to try and get some peace, because I was on a big ship going to Japan, you see. And in the front of the boat, the bow, you could get no noise from diesel engines. And out the front, there was another generator going to run the jacuzzi. And here there were 2 here, and there was no peace at all. But now,
As soon as the engine stopped, the silence actually cracked my skull open. I can still hear the engines ringing in my head.
may look like a theme park ride, but it is the real thing. And maybe to get our kids to understand, we need to give them the real thing, and not a theme park ride. We were now going to go out into the ocean and find out some of the magic of Kosi Bay.
And then rub it down hard. And then wash it off in salt water.
What for me is interesting, having dived and swum most places in South Africa, besides the colder bits, is that the watercolor changes so much from place to place. And here, it was perfect.
It's crystal clear. You can see for miles.
And then came Kesrin, as agile as a gazelle or a jellyfish.
I think I'm born in a bad month. I jump overboard, I lose a flipper, my mask goes all wonky, I get something grabs me on the arm, I'm all stung here now. Yeah!
Red, yellow, blue, and some pink and some brown. She was the one who carried my crown. Sunshine.
Again, I say apologies for the loss of the tape and what we could not show you. But what can one do besides say sorry or get here and enjoy and stay at the places we stay because we know, okay, thank you. One of the things one should try and do is touch the four corners of South Africa. That is, start at Kosi Bay and go to Alexander Bay and then Cape Agulhas and end up with Beitbridge, just for a jaw.
That's all right.
Confidentially, it's not just me. There's
Don't worry about running. You don't let it like
you are the one who.
What was crazy is that we were in paradise, and when one is still held ransom, that paradise is not quite so. But you shut the crap out until the end, because that is the way of the human. We hold on to our dreams until the very end. Our hosts, which you will again find on our website, are awesome and truly of the best people we have met, that are committed to our country and to their place and to their family no matter what. And what more is there to make a country great? I don't actually know. They live in isolation, run horse trips, and have built great accommodation. We cannot show because the crew lost the tape. But this should help you get there, to the easternmost point of South Africa.
We're here at the camp of the Maputaland Horse Safaris. And we are now looking at these hippos that are in this pool. There are 11 of them here. And they are here because it rained very much here and made a bigger dam here, and the dam's slowly shrinking. It'll be interesting to see how long these hippos stay here. This is not a hippo. The hippos are there. See? Well,
This is not a mountain goat.
And for those who are sensitive to issues and stuff, right now I suggest you leave for fear of a backlash.
I've actually had a problem on this journey because I've been missing cigarettes very much. And I'm going through a kind of a drug deficiency because cigarettes is a very strong drug, and I felt at times my highlights have been robbed from me because I haven't had it all. You know, it hasn't been the moment, because I would love to have lit up a smoke and enjoy that moment completely, because a cigarette has a great aspect to it, which is the thing of being able to settle the world in that moment, that time, and to make it accessible and enjoyable. That's what tobacco does for me. You know? Look, I'm a lost cause, okay? I can't change anything. I feel helpless in the face of it all. So what I will do is interpret it afresh. But I at least have said what I think. Now I can move on. I'm a lost cause. I'm never going to change.
You know, he thinks he suffers from nicotine withdrawal. We suffer a lot more from it.
That's cruel. That's cruel. You know, that's the kind of cruel statement that will come out of Vivian. Look at this little cat here. It wouldn't hurt a flea.
Oh, sweet.
Kev.
Yeah, this is the cutest. Oh, here. Dit is klein lewendige serpies, mamma. Ag, Here. Ag,
Yeah, look at the both of them. Look at the both of them. It just takes something a little bit innocent to bring out the real human beings in them.
Yesterday on that other boat at the lake, sorry, my chest hair is showing. At the lake at Jozini, the Pongola Port Lake, I had a sinking feeling, and that was that the dream of being able to go to Madagascar, to get to the eastern coastline of South Africa, our limitation, and to transcend it by leaving by sea for Madagascar, it would not come to fruition. I had a sinking feeling, and I feel that that's true, and I'm not happy about it.
I can't be spoiled like that. Because on the one hand, I'm crying we don't have a mission and the adventure, and on the other hand, I'm crying that the mission is maybe too big for me. No, I've mixed feelings about it. Sweet and sour pork feelings.
I feel in some ways sort of ignored by the broadcasting company in my own country, who I've done massive work for, who I've filled innumerable hours of television slots for, where I've done Arenda, which I did, which became a hit for them. It was 33 episodes. It's been sold all over the world. It's been sold to CakeNet. It's been shown 6 times. I have not received 1 cent from the broadcasting company of my own country. And I feel that they will not swing a budget to cover a trip to Madagascar, which is a pitiful budget by world standards, is a measure of how we are expected to feel in this country.